sneak peek of my new project I'm working on. It's called West Side Waters. Um, this is the track that's going to be coming out. You're going to hear me rapping over this time. See my bars and skills, but here's a sneak peek of the track.
Where would I be? Where would I
West Side
be?
Waters, beautiful West Side Waters.
Where would I be?
And here's a
Where would I be?
another sneak peek into this will be a 3-song single. Here's another one of the single songs right here I'm going to put out. Yep. And you will have to watch out for that. And here's one more. I'm going to bring out just one more of the sneak peek tracks. I just wanted to put that out there to show that, I've been busy working. I just don't sit around. Here's one of my newest, also, the third song on the beautiful West Side Water single. All right, that's just enough of that. Other than that, let's get into the normal show. Once again, this is the MLRose Room Discussion Podcast, hosted by me, MLRose. I'm your host, Trademark Intelligent Sounds, since 2019 when I first solidified my own trademark out my pocket. So the topics we're going to talk about today is unclean spirituality, dark matter energy, evil forces, and the creator of life. Once again, this is MLR Rose for the Rose Room Discussion. Coming to you right now. All right, all right. That one in the background is called One Rose. That is available. That is from my album, MLR Rose Trap Instrumentals. All right. That's enough with the music. We're going to come back to the slappers in the commercial. But yeah, unclean spirituality. So, one of the things I've been seeing a lot on, you know, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, um, multiple social media sites, Snapchat. We can go into just other ones too, also Reddit, um, Tumblr. I'm on so many social media websites where you can see certain things. One of the things that I have been seeing a lot is a lot of unclean spirituality, a lot of stuff going on that's like it's kind of questionable. A lot of people admitting to selling themselves for a deal. A lot of people willing to get on social media showing, violent acts that they have done. A lot of people sexualizing themselves beyond what we need to really know about. Um, a lot of individuals wanting to promote stuff that is not really how I would state this. Not really wholesome in a manner for children's eyes to see, or either sometimes even for grown adults or parents and children or anybody to see. On Facebook, it's a lot of it. Um, they have people having sex with animals. They have females showing their vagina. They have males on there showing their penis. They have just multiple different stuff going on. Ever since this gentleman has done this type of act to where he's saying that he's not going to block a lot of content, he blocks certain content. Well, the social media sites itself blocks certain content, but the majority of the stuff that is violent, rude, that shows odd behavior, disrespectful behavior, assaults, rapes, shootings, um, theft. They don't get rid of that out the algorithms. And that's what one of the things that they were saying about the other TikTok. Um, it's a lot of unclean spirituality being shown to children, and on a timeline, if you have this repeatedly shown, and it's not anything in that algorithm to break that type of you know um digital imagery that's being processed through your mindset, because when your mind is looking just like your eyes are, it's pretty much setting your mind up for what's to pretty much absorb from this information and knowledge. And if there's no knowledge on there, it's just much more of a adrenaline, and it becomes like a thing of impulsations of hatred and anger, and just stuff that it gets your mind and your spirit out of whack. Your vibration and the energy that you're intaking from all of this stuff that's being shown to you is now causing you to have a mindset to where it's only focused on more violent and more craze type of entertainment. Like you now are pulling more of this into your person. What is that saying? What, like when people see stuff subliminally, like imagery, and they don't really know what it is. Like when you were a kid and you were watching, I would say Ren and Stimpy, and people my generation would understand this. They had a lot of sexual content in on there that we didn't understand growing up in our teens. But as you got older, you would see like the one with Ren with the log on his back. Well, and Ren had the Stimpy had the log on his back, and Ren had the saw, and he was sawing the back of Stimpy, but he was doing it in a sexual manner. You see what I mean? Like if you were a child and was not really paying attention, and you were just looking at that from a distance and just doing other things, subliminally it gets into your mind because it's feeding in information and things that you're not really understanding. But later on, that becomes like a memory. It's logged into your mind files. It's logged into your brain, your thought process. It's like, how sometimes you'll do something and you don't even know what you're like. You catch yourself doing something that's not right, or it's off, or you be like, damn, why did I just do that? It's like it's preset into you. It's presetting a mold into you, a thought process. So what I was saying to you, unclean energy and spirituality is a very big thing. Okay. So unclean spirituality is stuff that is projected upon you. You can see it in these movies now. It's more sexual content than ever, even the cartoons. It's like people want to show you opposite sex or even the same sex engaging in these type of acts. I was just watching I think it was Young Justice, and I was watching another cartoon too also before that. I think it was Invincible. Everything has something to do with sexualization now. It's not the cartoon. Remember, the cartoons back in the days were much more just where the cartoon characters just chasing the bad guy. It didn't give backstories. It didn't get into their personal love life. It didn't get to who they had a passion with, who they were engaged with sexually, who they cheated on. Now it's much more of a like indulgement to where people put this into everything. It's in the books now. So it brings a lot of these type of things up. And unclean spirituality is going wild right now. It's not checked. It's being unchecked highly amongst everybody. Um, it's placed in food commercials, things that's going on. They're saying little subliminal things like, men engaging in prostitution, um, men engaging in sexual conduct. Um, but it's put into these type of little bits and pieces to where you're not really catching it. And then you got to think about it that your kids, like I was watching one show called Yabba Dabba or Yabba Gabba or whatever it is. I know in some cases people like, oh no, that's not nothing at all. But when I looked at the characters, I was like, this character is a red, one-eyed monster, and it has all kind of like little bumps on it, and it looks like a dildo. But when a kid sees it, they're just looking at it like it's a one-eyed monster. Then it's a pussy cat, a dildo, a green monster, like it's some type of disease. I just don't know. The show to me looks like a lot of stuff that's going on subliminally. But like I said, unclean spirituality is around us a lot now. It's something that's being broadcast on radios, news, TV shows, cartoons, commercials, and just the activity itself that's being people are partaking in now. You have a lot of people that believe in these different type of sexual acts. You have everybody that's autosexual, bisexual. um it's just everything. They're doing everything. Like all acts of unclean spirituality are pretty much the norm now, and nobody's not really looking at it anymore like they used to. Before, people had a lot of different insight on these type of things, and they would discuss these things, and they would kind of like bring it to the attention. But in this new age of lifestyle, a lot of people don't want to ruffle feathers. They don't want to say anything. So like I said, the unclean spirituality goes unchecked. It's just the norm now. you know People now are bringing in a lot of stuff that I see too also with the unclean spirituality is a lot of devil worshiping, a lot of devil symbols, a lot of devil um practices being done in cartoons, being done on TV shows, being done on award shows, being done in music videos, being done on commercials. It's like, why is all this so important for our children or just for us to intake or anybody to intake on a daily basis? That's what I'm saying to you. Like when you look at these social media sites, it's more fighting. And this is only in America because I heard like in other countries, they don't allow a lot of these things on their algorithm. They don't allow people doing dark magic, devil worshiping. They don't allow people to do unclean acts where they're doing sexual acts. So kids will get you know, a eye full of unraveling weird, just abnormal activity that they're not supposed to see that should be censored. But here in America, they allow everything. So a lot of the unclean spirituality is also done within the food too. Because as you can see, some of the food that we're learning to also now has products in it that are being used in uh, paint removal and things of this nature. So a lot of the unclean spirituality acts and this unclean spirituality mentality, the unclean spirituality mindset, it's all being pushed upon us right now so much to where we're not really looking at it like we used to. We're not standing up against it anymore. We're just allowing it just to make itself comfortable in our homes, our lives, our minds, and around us. And this is bringing a lot of energy that's not really good. You know what I mean? We want to have the positive energy with us, but how can you have positive energy when every time you turn on something, there's something going on that's not really in the best of your interests with your spirituality? And I know a lot of people pray. I know a lot of people believe in Catholic Church, the Catholic way of religion, the Christian way of religion, the Muslim way of religion, and you have people that are Orthodox, you have people that are Baptists, You have people that are different, you know, aspects, but it's all spirituality to cleanse yourself from anything that is negative and to look for a positive way to get a better solution in life or for yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, or just to grow and develop in a much more stronger manner of mindset of knowing how to handle things around you without getting into an anger mode or having a breakdown. But with this ongoing attack of over sexualization and unclean spirituality being pushed upon children, adults, teens, um, and just the orientations of things that are going on, it is showing you it's really something going on here. We don't really know how to combat it anymore because we have just adapted to it. We act like it's normal. We walk down the street now and you see signs of people engaging in oral sex. It's nothing new. You see people walking around, they're wearing less clothing. It's nothing new. Um, you see people that are putting their sexuality um, on stickers on their vehicle. It's nothing new. You're seeing people um, when you go into these certain places, like when you're engaging with people in society, you're seeing it all on people's t-shirts, hats, clothing. um it's just an onslaught of just unclean spirituality. The It's just so important now for some reason for you to define your spirituality more than ever, to be a different from anybody else. It's like, I understand we're all different human beings and we all have different faces, body types, mindsets, strength. Um, we have our different type of feelings and emotions and things that we go through, and we are not all the same. But in this case, they have created it to where now you need to have like your own spirituality. You need to find your own way of guidance of who and what life is and why you should believe in this and not believe in that. And I think it's kind of ripping people apart because it's no connection with anybody. Because if you're believing in rock people, and then this guy over here believes in air people, and this guy believes in earth people, and this guy believes in wood people, and this guy believes in the unclear people, and this guy believes in the alien people, you're having so much conflict. You don't have any type of connection. And this is what I'm saying, that the unclean spirituality has been manipulating us to believe this type of rhetoric because they want us all to have a lost mindset to where we don't have an agreement on anything. That's why I think that now they have the he, her, he, she, him, her, we are, we, thee, they are. They have all these different um genders and different groups that you pretty much pronouns or pronunciation of who you are, what you are, and it's just really strange that this is so important now. We never really cared about what a person was, but now it became more of the norm, you know? So I believe unclean spirituality is something that they're really trying to put an agenda together and base that upon experimenting with our society here in America and seeing how far it goes and how far they can dissect every group and every person and make them into pretty much a mental health case. That's why I think mental health issue has went up to the highest point now because there's so many people who are trying to identify as something different now. It's just like it's like a style now. It's not anything of importance. It's just that, oh, I need to be different. Okay, if they're all wooden people, I'm gonna go over here and be a Cape man. I'm a Cape man person. And then like you get a bunch of people that's Cape man people, then over here you want to be dog people, and over here you want to be tree people, and over here you want to be from the group of soil people, and it just becomes like a catastrophic chaos event. And then the energy just moves because everybody wants to now place their opinions, their energy, their dislikes, their discomforts, and they all attack on these social media sites, these TV sites, these internet platforms, and it's just chaos. And that's why I believe that when the children are watching these different type of shows, you don't know who they're produced by, you don't know what that person's beliefs are, you don't know what they're really bringing to these children, you don't know what unclean energy is being sent to them through what they're watching, subliminally, mentally, spiritually, and what they're intaking in, and what is setting their minds for the future. Because you know, when these things get into your memory bank and they are lodged in there, they become a part of your growth process in life. It's something that you remember, it's something that you are built upon. Because if you're watching this day in and day out for a whole 2 years, it's going to be in the back of your mind somewhere. Um, with that said, that was the first topic, unclean spirituality. I want to get into the next topic. Topic. Oh, sorry, I said topic. I apologize. Got tongue twisted. The next topic is dark matter energy, which arrives from unclean spirituality. I'm going to leave you with a slapper slumper real quick. I'm going to come right back. I would put on for my new album, Beautiful West Side Waters, but I don't want to disappoint too much. So I'm going to wait to let that rock. And right now, I'm just going to play some of my older work. Let you slap and hear that. This is the MLRose show, and this is the Rose Room Discussion podcast show. All right, this is the MLR Rose Room Discussion podcast show, hosted by me, MLR Rose. All rights reserved by company and trademark Intelligent Sounds. Okay, we just came from unclean spirituality, so I'm going to connect it to how unclean spirituality brings in dark matter energy. So, dark matter energy is defined as a dark energy, mysterious component of the universe, roughly 27% or 68%, respectively, that are invisible and it's unknown. It's gravitational. They have no understanding of it. It affects, but scientists are not really sure what the nature of it is. Um, Dark matter energy makes up 27% of the energy on this planet. It can be composed as a dark entity, a dark person, a dark type of matter, a unknown characteristic, a component. What I'm trying to state to you is that when you're looking at unclean activity and unclean spirituality, it brings in a darkness of mindset. Basically, when you have a clear mind, a peace, and your vibration is higher than normal, and you have a mindset to where you want to engage with others, you're much more on a higher level of frequency of energy. It's like the light. You're seeing the light. You're happy. Spirituality is happy. You don't have an unclean spirituality. You have a much more happier. You can get along with people. Now, when you go through traumatic things, like I say, how can I state this? If you see somebody get shot, you see somebody get beaten, you turn on your TV, you're constantly looking at stuff that's unclean. It's murder, killing, suicides, things of this nature. It brings in a dark complex of mindset. It brings in a very low vibration. And in low vibration, we can see when you go lower and lower, what do you go to the dark, right? Because in the center of the earth or anywhere you go that is dark in caves is darker. When you go outside of the cave and you leave, it's lighter. Um, when you push yourself away from people, people truly say, sometimes I'm in a dark place. If you heard that type of saying, that's always a statement by people that are going through depression. I'm in a dark place. I'm in a place where I can't really understand. I'm in a place where I'm depressed. Depression is pulled as depressing, pushing down. Down means where? Below. Below means where? Into a darker place, into a place of darkness. Um, Dark matter energy is something that they have also been trying to unlock in the scientific world. They've been trying to figure out what is it, which is very dangerous to me because if entities and spirits exist in places that we don't know about, that we can't see in the naked eye, and things exist that we don't know about that cannot be seen by the naked eye because our um our bodies are created to see only a certain type of, imagery or things that we are put here to only understand, because this is what we're on the complexity of learning here right now. Like I stated, we don't really have a lot of information as human beings. We have information, but we don't have as much as we should have, because some of it is cut off from us because our understanding of certain comprehension could pretty much debunk a lot of stuff that we have thought that we known from the beginning. And then when we find out it's not really the components that made that up, it would then rewrite the whole history of what we are and who we are. So dark matter energy is something that scientists don't know about. It's the mysterious particle that nobody understands. They're trying to unlock it. Um, to me, it has something to do with a lot of stuff that is not clean in spirituality. That's what I was saying for my first topic, unclean spirituality, and how that leads to engaging in acts. Um, then you become much more of a shut off person. You don't communicate with people properly. You tend to hide from people more. People don't see you. Usually, when serial killers or murderers or people that are psychotic or have mental health issues or have craze, um, mindsets, they tend to be in those type of mindsets where they're cut off from everybody. They hide in houses for a long time. Their lights are cut off. They don't communicate with anybody. They go to a place to where no one knows. It's like a mystery place in spirituality, which to me is a darker place. Like I said, um, when you always hear people use the term, I'm in a dark place right now. Right now, I'm in a depression. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel, I feel apart from others. I feel isolated. Isolation is usually a place to where you're pushed away from others, and others is pretty much in a lit place, because when energy is amongst people, and we look at how can I state this? When you're looking at a UV light or a light that can read vibration or energy, or how can I state this? Um it detects people's, you know, body heat. You can see when there's multiple people around, the energy is high. You can see yellow, red, you'll see the energy up. When you usually see that a place has no energy, it has no light to it, it's usually a all blue or all dark place. And sometimes they can be blue or red or they can be other colors, which is kind of scary to me also too. Um, Other definitions for dark energy is a mysterious force or energy that is causing the expansion of the universe to accelerate. So, in one part, dark energy or dark matter energy is something that you don't want to play with because it has a lot of power. You know what I mean? It's a unknown entity. We don't know what it really is. We don't have no definition for it. We don't know really know the nature of what the dark energy is. Um, but the idea is that it's a fundamental force of some type of cosmological entity or continuancy of something that is beyond us. So, like I say, when you see people doing these type of things where they're doing seances, when you see them, like I said, when you see unclean spirituality, you see people performing the dark arts. They always state this: "I'm performing the dark arts." Dark arts to me is the dark energy of the matter, things that you don't understand. It's a force that is unknown. When you usually see it, they have the lights dim. It's really like black. They usually have it all red. Using words backwards. They're writing these pentagrams and all these type of things, to bring forth nature's energy of darkness. And then when you look at if you ever went camping before and you go out into the campsite and it's pitch dark and you're out in the forest, it's a whole different type of dark. You see what I mean? It's another type of dark. It's a dark to where you will understand why um it has some type of power. It's undescribable because you can't really put your finger on it, and you can't really put a name to the type of feeling you get. It's a fear. It's also a um and an energy. It's a excitement. It's also a a paranoia, and it's also a a mindset of not knowing and being unknown because all you hear is the sounds of animals. And then anything moving around like crunching, like any sound you hear will pretty much put your vibration into a either hysteria mode or into a fear mode or into a uncomfortableness. So dark energy is something you don't want to play with. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when you look at these people in all these seances, they're always in a dark place. They're somewhere dark. They are trying to conjure up nature's dark spirits or dark energy or dark matter or dark forces, or it's always something with the darkness. And when we're here on this planet Earth, you always feel comfortable as a human being when you have the lights on. You always feel comfortable with even when you sleep. Sometimes people want a nightlight. That's why kids want a nightlight. It's something mysterious about the dark because when the lights go out, for some reason, our mind frames always kick into our imagination. It always kicks into our psyche. It kicks into things that we don't understand. This is where I think we get these type of premonitions, or we get these type of images of things that's in the dark that we don't really see. But what I believe it is that it's a emergency mechanism in your mind. I believe that in your DNA, in all humans' DNA, we have it built in from our ancestors that we know about things that are in the dark. We just don't know what they are. But sometimes in the past, I think, or before we understood the real spirituality of mankind and the origins of where we came from, we knew what the dark energy was. And we knew that some of these beings that lived in this dark energy was very evil and had some type of power or some type of spirituality that we didn't understand. And I think the mechanism sometimes when the light goes off, it kicks in and the fear factor kicks in, and also um, your database of your mind, your brain, from history, past thoughts, past events, your DNA things linger, and it kind of brings back, you know, when it analyzes, it brings back a memory or it brings back a process of something that either within your bloodline your family knew about, or either you know about, or something you experienced in the dark. And that's why people say they see ghosts, they see spirits, they see entities in the dark, because the dark matter is really something big. And like I said, the universe itself is made of dark matter. And as you can see, as human beings, we don't even know what's in the universe itself. We don't even know what's outside of this planet too much. We come up with these little concepts like we do know, and we put these telescopes out there, but there's no 100% proof of what we know is out there. Just like we don't know what's in the ocean itself. And the farther you go into the ocean, the darker it gets. So you know what I mean? Like I said, we live on I say a four-dimensional plane, because I would say this due to the dark energy. I would say or probably five, because you have the ocean, which is one plane to me. That's another plane. Then you have land, which where we live at. Then you have I would say the spiritual world, which we don't know nothing about, which is connected to us on this land. Then you have above us space or the air, which we don't know nothing about, that lives up there, because, like I said, we're starting to see things floating around in the sky that we don't even know about. We don't know if these things been up there for thousands of years. We don't know if there's a plateau up there where things live. We don't have no clue. Then when you go to space, that's another dimension. So I believe the sea is one dimension of darkness, of dark energy matter, which is another probably another type of entity that lives in that dark energy matter, because some of the animals live in the light part of the ocean, and they love the light, and they love to be around, you know, certain areas. Then you have the animals that live in the ocean that like the dark parts of the ocean. Then you have the parts that are so dark that some of them don't even go down there, and the ones that do go down there, they're very large, monstrous, like squid, octopus, and other things that live down there we don't have no clue about. So another dimension, like I said, is on Earth right here where we're at, is the land. The land itself is another place where it's a dimension where we live at. So we're separated from the ocean because we can't live in the ocean, because we're human beings. We don't, you know, breathe water. We can't, you know, do that for hours and hours upon days and days. We can't do that. That's something that we're cut off from. So on this plane that we live on in this dimension, we're also cut off from the spiritual dimension, which is around us. And then within this dimension, we don't know about these mountains, these places that are dark, and we don't know about what's going on in some of these places with the spirituality and the energy that comes from the dark matter, or within those type of forces that are unclean spirits that roam this planet, because we don't know where the dead goes. We don't know where evil spirits come from. We don't know where demons and devils come from. We don't know where people get these sightings of unclean entities. We don't know where like Bigfoot. We don't know where none of these things come from. So we're on a plane to where we're on two planes in this dimension right here on the ground where we're at right now, where we're living on the top side. We don't really know what's in the middle of the earth. So that's another dimension. So you're living on three, that's three dimensions right there. You have the ocean where you can't live. You have the center of the earth where you cannot live, but we live on top of it, on the crust part of the very top, which is another dimension. And then when you look above us, it's the sky, which is another dimension. And when you look upon that, you have space, which is another dimension where we can't go to. And dark matter energy lives in all these places, because all these places have darkness. All these places. The sky becomes dark, the land becomes dark at night, the oceans become dark at night, In these tunnels and cave systems, they're pitch black dark in the day and night. So, like I said, dark matter energy is something that you really don't want to play with if you don't really understand the whole meaning and concept of where it comes from, where it derives from, and what it really is, because it's so many concepts behind it. It's so much ideology behind it. It's so much spirituality behind it. And like I said, dark matter energy comes from one element, but it has multiple elements. And unclean spirituality to me is another entity of dark matter energy because it's something that we don't have no clue of how it exists. We don't know how people feelings are arranged. We don't understand how a person can sit here in one room that could be cut off from another person in another room that's watching the gospel every day and reading the Bible and working out doing push-ups from a person that's in another room that's smoking weed every day and drinking alcohol and watching nothing but sex, pornography, killing, and murder, and in how that person in that one room can have more anger and be upset and be triggered. Where's that energy coming from? Where's that spirituality, uncleanness coming into that person from? Is it because that person absorbing what they're seeing? Because we know, like, when you put a sponge down in water, it absorbs, right? Okay, so we're understanding whatever you're absorbing is what you pick up in your mindset, your spirit, and then you're educated upon it. And then sometimes, like I said, when people are cut off from normal societies and they live in places to where they didn't get any education, they didn't get any good spirituality, they didn't get any comprehension of understanding of how to treat people, we see that they have a very vulgar, it is pretty much, how can I state this? It is not a great mannerism type of mindset. They don't understand anything. So, like I said, unclean spirituality is a force within dark matter, and dark matter energy is a force within the universe itself, in all the dimensions that we live in around us. Because, like I said, around us, there's a dimension of the ocean which has darkness. It has light and it has darkness. But at nighttime, it becomes dark all over the ocean. The land where we live at becomes dark. But on the other side of that, the land we live at has spirituality of unclean energy and unclean spirits and things that we don't know about and other things that we don't understand. And within the center of the earth, which is on the land or the land itself, and these cave systems and these places that we don't understand, which are dark, it has another type of energy of unknown dark matter that we don't understand nothing about. And then we look at the sky itself is light, yes, but at night it becomes dark, which brings in another dark matter energy. That's why people are seeing these so-called UFOs, these sightings of things at night. We don't know really what they are. Then when you look at the space, we have no clue what's in space. And it's dark up there, period. So dark matter energy is something that you should respect. You should really have some type of fear of, and you should be very precautious when dealing with things of that nature because it brings unclean spirituality, and unclean spirituality brings dark matter energy around you. And if you don't have the light with you, you can't really see in the dark. So all these things link into one. That was my second topic. I'm going to come back with my third topic. My third topic is going to be evil forces. I'm going to link that into unclean spirituality, dark matter energy. And I'm going to come back. And before I do that, I'm going to leave you with another slapper slumper. But I just want you to know, always be aware. Always. Leave you with a slap real quick. This is the Rose Room Discussion podcast show hosted by me, MLRose. All rights reserved. Intelligent Sounds. all right, all right. MLRose with the Rose Room discussion. Coming back with my third topic, which is, and you know it, evil forces. So we talked about unclean spirituality. We talked about dark matter energy. I'm going to link all three of those right now. I'm going to let you know my opinion. And my opinion is not based on 100% actual facts. Remember, this show is based on theoretical purposes. The views that are discussed on this podcast show are for entertainment purposes, meaning that I either experience them, I talk about what I see, I talk about stuff that I pretty much decipher from information that I have gathered, or things that are on social media platforms and sites on all social media platforms that you can easily look up on any website or any search engine. So, mankind, even myself, I'm not the smartest of all people, but even a caveman was smart enough to know that fire burns. So we learn and we live and we then develop in life to understand and to get a better perspective of things around us and how to respect them and how to maneuver around them. So, with that said, we talked about unclean spirituality through what they're doing right now in the society of all these things that are over sexualized, the worshiping of things that are unclean, um, the content that is placed that is subliminally. I apologize. I got tongue twisted. Wow, twice. I'm kind of a little bit, you know, got to get back on my high horse. Okay, I apologize about that. But yes, subliminal messaging that's being displayed in front of us through content that is being created by content creators that are pretty much involved with dark matter or dark energy worshiping or dark spirituality are bringing upon dark forces that they don't understand that are trying to unlock dark matter energy to understand what it is, which to me also can bring pretty much evil and unclean demonic forces. So when I say evil things of that nature, we know when we look at the devil itself or the concept of the devil, because there's multiple devils and there's multiple names for the devil. That's why I said the devils itself, because there's multiple devils in different cultures. Just like in the name of the Most High, they have different names: Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, Yahshua, uh, Elohim, uh, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahuwah, um, God the Most High, the King of Heaven and Earth. There's different interpretations of His name, but there's also different cultures who worship different things, and their eyes, what was the God to them. So when we look at the devil, there's multiple different names for the devil. There's multiple devils in different cultures. There's multiple different things that represent the devil. But we all understand that it comes from a dark place, right? When this person's depicted, they always depict him in a dark place, and he's red or he's some dark color with dark eyes, and he has yellow eyes or red eyes, and he's in a dark place that with dark energy, and it's like smoke, mystic stuff. Everything about him is from a place that we don't understand, which is a dark place of dark energy, dark matter, unclean spirituality, forces that we don't really comprehend as human beings because we don't really know about them. We don't know nothing about them. You have a lot of people talking about, oh yeah, I met the devil. I made a deal with him. And all. You don't know who the hell you met. You don't know if you met one of his demons. You don't know if you met one of his what familiars. You don't know if you met a vampire. You don't know if you met a vampirin. You don't know if you met a jinn. You don't really know what that was because, like I said, there's multiple devils. There's so many entities that roam this planet. Like I said, we live in a five-dimension plane. And like I said, I'm gonna break it down to you one more time. We have the ocean. is one dimension because human beings can't live in the ocean. We have land where human beings live is a dimension. We have spirituality and unknown entities and forces that we have no clue about that roam around us that we can't see with the naked eye. That's another dimension. Then we have the center of the earth, which is the dimension that we can't live in because there's no damn human beings that we know about to this day that live in the center of the damn earth. Then we have the sky and space, which to me is one dimension because whatever comes from space comes into the sky, which is another dimension. That's why I stated we're seeing UFOs, unknown aircraft. We're seeing things that we don't have any clue about. We're seeing things floating in the sky, things that we don't know nothing about. So what I'm saying to you is that when you yourself are channeling things that are not good for you, because like I try to state to you, whenever a person is around a lot of people, you see a lot of energy. You see what I mean? It's a lot of happiness, a lot of conversation. It's a lot of bonding. It's a lot of um emotions going around. It's like a battery, or how can I state this? It's like a place to where like you're playing. If you were playing a game of basketball, you're all passing the ball to each other. So within that, forces of energy is moving back and forth between you. When you pass that, it's the force of energy. You're pushing the air towards this person to get the ball to him, which is the ball is in a matter of physical matter of a element of leather and air, which you're pushing towards that person who receives it. And then when he's in a position, he can push towards another person, and it just keeps going back and forth. But it's an energy shared, a bond between you. So it keeps that going. Like you will see electricity, you'll see electric magnetic pulsations, which we have them in our brain, which you can see them in multiple other things. You can even see it when you go to a like how can I state this? A a science exhibition or a exhibit. You'll see those little balls that they have, and you see the when they put the actual clear ball and they put in the middle the little coil, which then they put some type of electric force which pushes it out. Then you would see the actual forces of the electricity hitting the ball, like you would see it, like you can. That's why I feel like the energy is between people. It's energy. When you're in a place of excitement, when around a lot of people and they're laughing and talking, and there's like 20 people, it's energy. Now, when you are not in that type of place and you're in a place where it's just dark and there's no people, there's no energy, there's nothing there, but the air still flows through that place. The wind is still coming in. There's still sounds being made. There's still things going on that we can't see. It's microscopic bugs crawling around. There's things on there that we don't know about. There's other things moving. There's other things happening. It's unknown matter that we don't really get. We can't comprehend. And sometimes in these unknown places, when there's one human being there, and it's pretty much dark, we hear things and we feel things that other people can't feel because our bodies are sensitive to everything. That's why we're a human being. That's why we have all these different senses. We have the senses of our eyes when we look. We have when we can smell, we can taste, we can hear, we can feel. We have these feelings. We have these emotions. We have gut feelings. You know, the hairs on our neck stand up when it's something going on. It just these things are things that we can't really understand. We get goosebumps when it's too cold. We get goosebumps when we feel something that's not right. So that's what I'm saying to you. When dealing with unclean spirituality and dark matter energy, you bring in evil forces sometimes because when people are in these places that are doing seances and doing things that are by themselves, when they go to grave sites, they go at nighttime, they conjure up things that are not of this world. Like I said, it's on another dimension plane, which is on the same plane that we're on. That's why human beings are so um, acceptable to this, or either they're easy targets are to me they're like a magnet which pulls these things towards them. If you look at a Ouija board, it's the same thing to me. It has a magnet on it. It moves around. Sometimes I've seen Ouija boards where people don't even touch them. They just say something, and a Ouija board moves by itself. It's an unknown force. It's a force of evil, evil force. It's either something that is not clean, that is unspiritual. It's a dark entity which you cannot see with your naked eye. It's always done in the dark area. It's always done in a place that's dimly lit. It's done in a place where nobody truly wants to really be by themselves unless they have a mindset to where they're acceptable to that type of thing. But like I said, when you're out in a forest, if you ever went camping by yourself and it's pitch black dark and there's nothing out there but you and another person or two other people, and it's nothing out there but just the sounds of the woods, the animals, and things that are mysterious that you don't understand, you'll see the vibration becomes very uncomfortable for you. And that's what I'm trying to get at. With these evil forces, there are things that we don't know about that come from these dark matter, that comes from this dark energy, that comes from these unclean spiritual places that we don't really get. Like I said, I'm not the smartest of person, and nobody to me is not smarter than anybody because we all have faults. We all have things that we're good at that we're not good at. But any person can understand fire burns if you put your hands up to it. It's just your senses, it's your feelings, it's your actual body that will give you the signal. So I have been places with people that I don't understand um, their mindsets and their feelings and their emotions. And sometimes I've been around people. To me, I would feel like they're not even a real human being. They could be something of a dark entity, a dark force, um, just something that I don't understand. Like I'm gonna give you one example. I'm gonna give you a quick story. I used to be a security guard in Napa, California. I worked for a company. I worked at a spa, and then on the other side, I worked for a older hotel which had these type of rides they would give for these rich people, and they also had a big winery. The place had been there since the 19 or 1816 or probably like 17. Some of the places, one of the places was there from 16 something. So they had lots of like bodies back in the days. It was the Wild West, killings, murders, rapes, suicides, all these type of things that had happened there. Um, it was just a lot of energy there. So one night I'm walking, doing my rounds, and I used to work from I think I got there at probably 8 o'clock, 8, and I was off at 7:30 in the morning. Sometimes 8 a.m. in the morning. Depends on what they wanted me to do. But what I would do is make sure that these rich people that had tons of money that they would, have their cars locked, that their vehicles were being tampered with or broken in because there was a lot of people that would come from other places and ride down there because these people would, enjoy themselves and indulge in wine, and they would forget to lock their vehicles. They would have stacks of money. I didn't seen thousands of dollars. I didn't seen jewelry. I didn't seen everything. I never stole anything, but it's just like for other people that are thieves, it's very alluring and it's tempting. So my job was to just basically make sure none of their stuff was taken, and I would just do my job properly. But one night, I had I had 3 jobs, so I had to work overtime at one job, so I didn't get sleep that much. But I had came down there, fell asleep at my job. I had woke up and I was walking into the spa area, which is another older place. Um, as I'm walking, there's nobody behind me. All of a sudden, a gentleman pops up on the side of me. Now, my senses went up, my hairs went up, everything went up because a second ago, there was nobody walking near me. There was nobody behind me. This person just appeared on the side of me. The first thing he asked me, did I like this place? but the way his demeanor and everything about him was very like aggressive. Like he was not a normal person. I said, yeah, he walked so fast. I didn't really comprehend how fast he walked. So he walked ahead of me so fast, and I'm pretty fast. I'm very good in shape. I was in good shape. He went around the corner. When I went around the corner to see, like, he walked probably like 7 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hit the corner. Now I'm coming at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see the corner. When I look across into the corner, there's a bat flying out. So I told this story to a lot of people. I'm not sure if I came across a vampirin, a vampire. I'm not sure what this person or this entity was. That was pretty much me by myself walking through these long areas, which had no light in some of them, which is lots of blind spots. I'm talking about pitch black dark. And I would always get these chills. And in some of these places, it just felt like somebody was watching me. And every time I would look, it's like dark rooms. I would have to lock up this mall, and this one room would always be open. I never understood it. It was pitch black. I mean, it was so dark in that room. I didn't even understand the concept of the darkness of that room. I mean, it was like so dark you couldn't even see if you even opened the door halfway with the light in the hallway. I never touched that door, never messed with it. I always let them know that that door is open. After a while, that door stopped opening. It really just really creeped me out just thinking about it right now because I just felt like it was something in there alluring. And like I said, it tripped me out because, like I said, that mall that they had there had lots of thousands of millions of dollars worth of jewelry. I never touched none of it. I never was tricked into touching it. I never, even when the door was left open by accident, I always let them know. Like I said, that one room, it was always dark. I never tried to go in there and flash my flashlight. I never investigated. I never touched the room because I just felt some dark, evil force, like something was in there that was not cool. Like I said, um, there's been a lot of stories about vampirin vampires in California, a lot of places that are old. Even in California itself, we have a place that has an evil force of energy there, of dark matter, unclean spirits. It's a town here in California that has nothing but devil worshippers and murderers. And they all live in this one little town. If you look up YouTube, you can see it. You'll find it. There's cases of people who claim that they had by accident went on this highway that leads past this town, and every time they say they would go past this town, there would be somebody like acting like they're stranded. There would be somebody laying on the side of the road. Um, and the people who do help them, they're never seen again. And this is a town full of all people that worship dark forces, dark energy, dark matter, unclean spirituality, and they practice an evil forces of rituals in that town. I wouldn't go by there if I was you, but it exists. It's a real thing. Um, I don't really know what to say when it comes to the events of things that have happened that I've seen because, like I said, they're mysterious. And that thing happened to me, and I've always told people about that because I never understood why it happened, why this entity came upon me, what was the reason for it. You know, was it trying to get me? Was it the room that I passed by all the time in the mall that I had to lock up? That this thing was in that room? Was that the whole setup for me to go into that room so I can get eaten by this thing or either turned into one of these things? I don't really know. Like I said, there's evil forces out there, evil entities, evil things, and they operate in a manner. And the manner to me goes by the unclean spirituality they introduce into your home that you yourself pretty much put your guards down to. Then when your guards are down, the dark matter starts to build up. The dark matter forces, entities that are unclean, they find a place to cling on to you or cling on in your home, and then through that, the gateway opens to evil forces, evil spirits, unclean things, things that we don't know about. Because, like I said, dark matter is the mysterious energy that scientists don't even know about. They're trying to figure out a way to break down a dark particle, which to me sounds very scary. Because anything that has something to do that you don't know nothing about, I wouldn't be touching at all. But, you know, this is what they do. I'm gonna share one more story with you real quick before I go into my last and final topic about the evil forces. I had lived. I told you guys I lived in Watsonville, California. I had lived there at 30 West Beach Street at a older hotel. It had been there for like it's been there so long. That place has been there for a long time. They had over like I think it was tons of murders. If you look up the place once again, 30 West Beach Street, look up their old hotel that has been there. They'll tell you about that place. Okay, so long story short, we moved in. Very strange. One day I'm coming down the stairs. I can see blood splatter on top of an area where it looked like somebody was shot in the head. Now, just think about that. They didn't even take the time to clean off the blood. The place that me and my family member got, a person was murdered in that place. Like they was actually shot in the chest. The person had died and had dripped their blood across the floor all the way to the restroom. Now, one day, we're coming back from the beach because I never really liked being at the place a lot. I didn't put our furniture was not inside of there. I put it inside of a storage because I didn't really trust the place. It was a lot of stuff going on, just a lot of drug addicts, a lot of murders, a lot of people overdosing in that place. It was just a lot of activity that was not cool in there. Um, I had came back one day and the man was like, "Oh, you guys live in that new place? How you guys like it here?" He's like, "Oh, that's a place where some guy lived at. He got shot in the chest." So I'm like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, you know the guy got the room that you guys got there. The guy was murdered in there." So doing my research, looked it up. So we started looking, cleaning, and we said, "Oh, you know what?" Because we believe in, like I said, higher vibration of spirituality. We believe in the Most High. We believe in the King of most of all kings, the King of heaven and earth. I give a glory to the Messiah. I give glory to the Most High. I exalt His name and magnify His name. So I did my prayer, spiritual prayer. We got some pine saw because when I'm told spirits that are evil don't like pine saw, they don't like cleanliness. A little bleach. So when we did that, I touched the part of the wall, and sure enough, um, when bleach hits a certain chemical, especially with blood, it turns. So when I touched the wall, we seen the blood. So what they did, they didn't even take the time to remove the blood. They just painted over it. So do you hear me? They painted over the blood. So when I got the bleach to clean to do and a pine saw just to do a spiritual cleansing, because that's how I believe to do a spiritual cleansing of the place that I live in. Put a little bleach, put a little pine saw. You do some prayer, get some holy water. You hit these areas to make sure it's clean in there. So when I did a cleaning, we found the splatter where the blood where the person was shot. Um, Very strange. We started cleaning up, and more we seen it in the restroom. We cleaned it off. We seen it in the room that we stayed in. We cleaned it off. I did a prayer that night. This is where I understand that there must be a most high, and that there is dark energy, unclean spirituality, and dark forces and evil forces that are out there. When I came out of the closet, because that's the place where I, sometimes want to get away and pray because I had a lot of room in there. I can sit down, grab my Bible, do a prayer where nobody can see me. I just feel like that's much more comfortable sometimes when you're dealing with certain things. Um, I come out the closet, I go back into the the area where we're at. Lo and behold, there's a dark figure, like a dark figure that looked like a grim reaper. and he's next to the wall. He sees me, and then he evaporates. So I never understood what that was. I didn't know what it was. I told my family member. After I prayed again. It was just a lot of stuff that was going on there. There was also a gentleman in there. Come to find out, he had murdered somebody. Um, they tried to act like it was normal. He was on a fire escape. He just was doing a lot of crazy stuff. And the strangest thing about it is when we had first moved in, I didn't put after a while when I lived there, I put something against my door like a chair, and I put it near a refrigerator. So in order to get into the room, you had to push over the whole refrigerator to open the door. It was impossible for a person to get in. So the first week that we lived there, I never did anything because I didn't think about it. I thought we had was safety because they had a camera up there. Do you know this gentleman had opened my door while I was asleep, and I had woke up in the middle of the night and shut the door back because that's when I got my mindset to think like, wow, this dude is dangerous. And one day he's standing outside by the door, another person's door, just standing there. So I'm not sure if this person was trying to, if he was trying to get into that person's door or what, because like I said, that place is very shady. They had a lot of murders, a lot of overdoses. One guy, I guess his body was found in there. He had been there for a while. The management didn't even report that he was dead. We had gotten to a situation where it was a fire there. So it was a fire. My next door neighbor was burning crystal meth and cooking it, and he blew up. He got blown out of his drawers or something like that. I'm not sure what the hell he was doing, but he was very crazy. But like I said, I believe once again that place had a lot of unclean spirituality going on because of the drugs, the murders, the drug usage, the selling of drugs, which in turn brought a lot of dark matter energy because the energy there was very like dark because they had blood stains on the walls in the hallway. They had it on the staircase. It was just, and it just painted it over like it was just like a cover up. A lot of darkness, like and the elevator itself wouldn't work. And one of the floors that you went to, the lights would go out. It was just very, very evil. And I feel like the evil forces there were pretty much what I seen when I had came out from praying and it was there in that place after we had cleansed it and wiped the walls and got rid of that blood stain from the prior tenant who was murdered inside of the apartment, which the manager never even told us about it. So I'm gonna come back on my last and final topic. Um, and that is the creator of life. I'm gonna show you how that all links with these things. And I'm gonna leave you with another slapper slumper. I'm gonna get into this one more time. Once again, it's the MLRose Gold podcast, Rose Room Discussion Show, and I'll be right back.
Let it go. 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 Let it go.
All right, all right.
Let it go.
So we are went over
Let it go.
unclean spirituality. That was the first topic. Second topic was dark matter energy.
Let it go.
Third topic was evil forces.
Let it go.
And the last and final topic is the creator of all life. The creator of life.
Let it go.
So, once again, when dealing with the creator of all life, like I just said it to you before, there's many interpretations of his name, many interpretations from different cultures of what the creator of life is. There's many different interpretations of what the person um and the entity itself derives from. So I can't really dictate in other cultures what they believe, but I know they're all the beliefs is that something created all life on this planet and created all existence within all life itself. And it is of what all and everything is because we are of it that is of all. That's like a little tongue twister right there, a little get you a little brain boggled. But yeah, in my belief, I believe it's the most high. I give praise to the Messiah because I believe the Messiah comes in our form pretty much to let the Father know that we are worthy of praising him. And he sacrificed himself so that we can come to the Father through him, through prayer, and beg for our mercy and beg for our forgiveness and beg to repent for our sins. So I do this on a daily basis. I pray day and night because I have a big belief. I don't know about other people. I'm not telling you you have to. I'm not telling you you don't need you need to stop worshiping the devil. I'm not telling you anything pretty much to do. I'm just saying to you this is my belief. There's a lot of people out there that practice Christianity, that practice Catholic religion, that practice Baptist religion, that practice Muslim religion. So I can't dictate to you what is better for you. Long as you're not hurting anybody, harming anybody, destroying anybody, or causing anybody type of problems or pain, do you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you what to think or feel in your own spirituality. But to me, the creator of all life is the most high. And the most high is the creator of all existence. So everything that exists is of the most high. So the unclean spirituality, the unclean forces, the dark matter energy exists from the most high because the most high has created these type of entities just like he created us. And within us, we have dark mindsets. We have unclean spirituality. We have unknown manners of energy that come from us. Some of us are psychotic. We don't know why some people are like that. Some of us are delusional. We don't know what's wrong with that person. Some of us practice things that are not cleanliness, or we say like in a manner of wholesomeness to be presented in front of other people. So those people themselves are a part of that dynamic of spirituality, or is unclean. Some people may eat rat feces. I heard about this in certain cultures. Some people may practice eating animals like dogs in certain cultures, where we find that to be very um, demeaning and sickening. Some people practice drinking urine. Okay, to me, these are things that are done and people's mindsets are pretty much content with that because they have grown up and they have followed that practice for a very long time. Um, and this is why I know that there's a creator of all life because the creator of all life, if you can look around you, has created all type of plants. None of them, some of them are not the same. Some of them are. Some of them are close to the same. Some of them are not. Some of them look the same, but they're a whole different plant that has the same look. Um, Within order, there's chaos. Within chaos, there is order. So, with the Most High having the power of the whole umbrella, and when you look at an umbrella and you pretty much sprawl it out and you open it, there's multiple colors on the umbrella. And on each umbrella, there's a metal detachment that separates that part from the other part, which also separates the other parts but in the middle holding it together is the foundation, which is the pole or either the actual metal piece to which you will press a little button that pops up the umbrella, which spreads out the umbrella. And when you spread it out, you see all the different decorations and colors and different styles and variations on the umbrella itself. I believe that's how we are as a society or as mankind in existence itself. The creator of all life holds together everything. We are just decorating around it. We are the decorations, the pieces, the parts. We are the little stains, the little coloring, little dyes, the little pictures. We're just here to play our part. But with the umbrella being open, you can see the light in the umbrella. But with the umbrella being closed, you also see the darkness in the umbrella that you can't see because it's unknown. Because when you close an umbrella, you can't see in it anymore, really, unless you get an umbrella that has a see through. And sometimes with even those, in some dark areas, you can't see when you put it away in the dark. It's like I said, the creator of all life, he this entity has created everything around us. He's created good animals, good people, bad people. He's created good bacteria, bad bacteria. He's created good days, bad days. He created rainy days, sunny days, stormy days. It's just life itself derives from something that is mysterious itself. We don't know truly who was the first man. We don't know the name of the first man. We don't even know the name of the first woman. So that's a mysterious, different concept or a different type of whole variant of different events that happen in order to get to the certain point that we're at now. So the Most High, the Creator, created all this, and we're living through it. And the reason why I say I believe in the Most High is because the same things I just talked about, people carry these same type of traits, and they themselves are not pretty much unseen, but some can be unseen if they choose to be unseen, if they decide to work in the dark, if they decide to work in a way to where they're off the grid, where you can't see them, you don't know where they're at. They're in a place that pretty much is blinded to you. And being blind is what? Not being able to see. Not being able to see is what? You're seeing in a different manner. So when you're seeing a different manner, it opens up a whole different concept of senses to you. And the dark itself becomes a ally. And then you learn how to use these senses to pick up things and energy. Like I said before, some of us pick up um, intuition through our gut feelings. Some of us pick it up through our goosebumps on our body that pop up when we get afraid. Some of us get our hair stand up on our neck. Some of our eyes twitch. Some of our hands itch. You know, these are just traits that we have adapted as human beings through the various of events that have happened, and then we have stored them in our memory files to now to be a part of our normal vernacular of who we are. It's like, after you eat, you get full. When you get full, what happens? The food digests. When it digests, you're either going to do two things. You're either going to pass gas, you're either going to burp, and that's normal human nature. That's what happens. So, the creator of all life has made all these things around us. That's why I believe in the creator of all life. That's why I believe that these things that are created, the unclean spirituality, because in some format, these practices are here to show others not what to do. You see what I mean? Like, if a person burns his hand on a fire in front of you, if you're a bunch of cavemen that never seen fire, and one of the cavemen put his hairy hands into the fire, and he burns his hand and it burns his hair, singes his hair, and he's running and he's hot, the other ones will learn from that mistake and will not put their hands directly in the fire. They will learn how to then maneuver around the fire and respect that element by not disrespecting it, by disrespecting themselves by burning their hand. So, in order for us to grow and be much more educated, we have to see people that are pretty much unhinged with unclean spirituality to do things in front of us that will educate us and say, hey, I won't do that because that to me seems very negative. Then when you do that, you grow and get better and smarter and you understand not to do these things and what are the consequences of them. Just like when you see a person that is practicing in a dark magic, in a dark uh, arts, in the dark crafts of unclean spirituality, of dark matter, dealing with evil forces, then you see what happens after that because that's why you have movies like The Exorcist, where the preacher tells you or the pastor tells you that he had to deal with these things due to the family not having any spirituality interaction with the church, not coming to be around people that are high energy, that have a high vibration, that are praying, that have happiness. They isolated their child away from that. And what happened through what the child developed from the father drinking, from the mother sexuality, from them being rich and greedy, and all the things that they had going on, the child was spoiled. So the child being bad itself and not following any rules and having no mannerism built up a tolerance of unclean spirituality, built up a tolerance of dark energy, dark matter, mysterious forces, which come from evil forces, which all derive from the Most High, which He has depicted this to show all mankind that these things exist, that these things are, so that way we can be aware of them, that they do exist. Like I said, the Most High created everything around you. Everything in existence is created by a creator. Just like how you would sit down and create a musical track and how you put the elements of everything together. You put the first you put the drums, then you'll put the snare, then you'll put a cymbal, then you may get a bass line. Then you may bring in a symphony. Then you may bring in a bass. Then you may bring in a clap or a snap. Then you may bring in a sample. You see what I mean? Everything is done in preparation, piece by piece, but it comes from knowledge, and the knowledge within you is already built in you. That's why I was stating that when you understand to respect things around you, and you know that they have a very dangerous um, consequence if you're dealing with it in the wrong manner, then you get to become much more mature and have a better um, fundamental idea of why you should not engage with this because of prior practices or what has happened before. So that's why we have books. That's why I also believe in the Most High, the creator of all life, because the books give you a teaching. That's why the Bible is here, because it gives you stories of each person who has gone through a different problem within life and found a solution of coming to the Most High and also getting a better understanding of why it is good to be on the better side of life and to respect things and to see them for what they really are and the dangers of them if you inappropriately use them in the wrong manner. So, like I said to you, dark energy is here, but if you choose to use it in the wrong manner, it can harm you. If you choose to respect it in the right manner, it doesn't harm you. You see what I mean? Like I stated to you before, an umbrella, when it's open, you can see all the colors and every variation of every piece and every part and every particular, um, how can I state this? Element that has went into creating it itself. Now, when you close an umbrella that has color on it or has some type of painting on it or some type of artwork, you can't see in the inside of the umbrella when you're closing it. It's dark in there. So dark cannot exist without light. Light does not exist without dark. And we have to understand that on both sides, the creator has created both of these different elements for a purpose. That's why we have day and night. At night, we sleep. In the daytime, we are woke. You see what I mean? Um, and even in the dark, you need a light to see through the dark. And sometimes when you don't want the light too much and you want to dim it down, you bring in the dark. Like you put your shades on to keep the sun out of your eyes to protect them when it's too light. If it's too hot, you want to hide in the shade. So what I'm saying to you, and the shade has an element of darkness in it. So like the saying is, we take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. Sometimes, in order to catch a criminal, you have to act like a criminal, right? You ever heard that saying? Because you can't catch a criminal that sells drugs and not know that they're selling drugs unless you infiltrate and act like a criminal. So the creator has created every element around us. So he created the dark for a purpose and a reason for us to get a better understanding of it. He created unclean entities, unclean spirits. He created unclean practices. He created all these things so we can get a better understanding of not how to do it and what to do and how to adjust ourselves around these type of things when they do come our way. So we can have a better understanding how to maneuver away from them or around them safely. Like we can see that there's animals out there like lions and tigers. If you have a normal brain or a mind that is not clogged or has no type of mental health issues, you would know the first thing you don't want to do is walk up to a lion because it will attack you. It's a wild animal. So when you have a better understanding of what it is by reading about it, by looking at it on television, by seeing how vicious it is when it attacks other um, animals, you would know not to disrespect it, but you will also give it the respect that it also deserves. But from a distance by you watching and keeping an eye on it because that's normal human nature. We want to know about things, but some things we need to know about and some things we need to respect them and know about them and not really engage in them. But this is how we live and learn. So I believe the creator of all life has given us all these different tools and elements and all these different problems and issues around us for us to get a better understanding on how to build our lives in a perspective of what is righteous and what is good and what is based upon morals and proper conduct. And through these other mistakes of our lives and what we see from other people doing and things that we learn about, we then build on that to become stronger persons in this society. And then we can teach others through these events that happen through us a way to have a better idealism of how to handle these type of problems or issues. Because like I said, when the first caveman was here on this planet, they didn't know how to build houses, right? They didn't understand how to build wheels and tires, but through progress, determination, and through you know, repetitive, you know, over and over, doing it and doing it and doing it until they got it down to perfection, it was learned. But through those perfections, there was dark errors in that. There was dark, unclean spirituality. There was things done that they didn't really mean to do, and it was things done in the dark that they didn't understand by using certain activities and certain unclean mannerism or matter to do so. And sometimes they were done in the evil intentions to see what would happen. But through all that, you can see the failures and mistakes that we're here now. And now we understand what not to do and what to do. So, with that said, through a time with dark matter forces and dark matter energy, and we're going through a time with evil forces, which all link together. There is a creator, and he has created all these things for a purpose and a reason. And that reason is for you to have a better understanding of his whole full concept of what is existence in life and what life derives from and how we maneuver around it and how every day we build, learn, and get a better understanding through error, mistakes, and wisdom. And then from there to build on a better guidance and then to learn how to respect and become a stronger individual through these type of different aspects of life that we deal with. Because every day we're going to build. And when we build, we're going to see. When we see, we're going to learn. We're going to learn. We're going to conversate. Through conversations, people learn through our conversations, through the energy that we pass to them, and what we get out of that. We take and we use those elements to make a better person or to make a better decision in our own lives. So just be aware, stay woke, look up, look down, look all the way around, and keep your head on a swivel, man, because it's real out here. This is reality. This is the Rose Room discussion with MLRose. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna leave you with the last slapper slumper, and then yeah, these things really exist, man. Life is real. Thank you. I appreciate you. Love you all. Enjoy your weekend coming up.